Hi, welcome to Drawing Club. Today we're drawing Pedro the Pineapple. This is Pedro the Pineapple. And to draw Pedro, you're going to need a pencil, an eraser to erase any mistakes, a pencil sharpener maybe, and a black pencil crayon or a black marker to outline with, and maybe some color pencils or some color markers to color with. But as usual, I'm going to do my drawing with a gray marker just so you can see what I'm doing. So Pedro the Pineapple is going to start with a big egg-shaped oval. So we're going to start here quite near the top of the page, and we're just going to make a big oval shape that goes really near the bottom of the page, because we want Pedro to be nice and big on the page. So just like that. He has two big eyes, so we're going to start by putting one big eye right here and another one right here. And remember, if I'm drawing too quickly for you, you can always pause the lesson and catch up. And so Pedro's got some white light bubbles in his eye, so we're just going to put two oval shapes inside his eye to show that there's light shining inside, and the same in the other eye, just like this. And then I'm going to put a curving line across his eye just like this, and we're going to shade that in at the end with our black marker or a black pencil crayon, just like that. Pedro's got a happy smiling face, so we're going to do a curved line like this, and then a line underneath joining back up to show his happy mouth, and then a little line to show his tongue inside his mouth. So he's got some green leaves growing at the top of his head, so I'm just going to do these sort of curving lines like this to show those green leaves. Like this. And one there. And one more. Like that. He's got two hands, so I'm just going to put two lines to show his arm there. And then I'm going to make just a big sort of circle shape for his hand there, and then I'm going to put his thumb on the side. So there's the thumb, and then I'm going to add those three little sort of sausage fingers. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So 2 lines for the arm, then a kind of circle shape for the hand, and then the thumb on the top, and those 3 sausage fingers. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And then the shoes, I'm just going to draw these kind of long oval shapes just down there for one of his shoes. Oops, a little bumpy there, that's okay. And one more there. And his shoes, there are soles on his shoes, so I'm just going to do a line like that and like that to show the sole, and a little bump at the front. I think I've kind of made a mistake there, but that's okay. I'm just going to bring this, redraw that a little bit there, and we'll just ignore that line at the end when we go over it with our black marker. And he's got 3 white stripes on the top of his shoes. So I'm just going to draw 3 little rectangles like that. Do the same on the other side. The sole of the shoe along the bottom, and then a little triangle there to show where the heel is and the front of the shoe. A little curving line for the front part, and then the same as on this side, 3 little rectangles for the white part of the shoe. And the last thing I need to do with my pencil is I'm just going to make some curving lines one way across Pedro's face to show those different segments of the pineapple. You can see I'm stopping there between the eyes. I don't want to draw right over the top of the eyes or the mouth. I want to leave those so you can see them clearly. And there we go. And then I'm going to do them going the opposite way to make these kind of diamond shapes on his face. Which, if you've ever seen a real pineapple, you'll know that real pineapples have this kind of crisscross design on them. And one more. I think that's all I'm going to do with my pencil. So I'm going to switch over to my black marker for outlining the rest. And this is my chance to maybe fix up some of those little mistakes I made when I was working with the gray marker. So one thing that sometimes students ask me is, why do we have to eat? And especially I find that sometimes when it's time to eat lunch at school or when it's time to eat snack, sometimes some students might say, well, I'm not hungry now, so I don't want to eat now. And then sometimes teachers have to kind of remind them, well, unfortunately, we can't eat any time we want to when we're at school because we do have work to do. And we kind of need to eat at the times when everyone else is eating. But sometimes I think students wonder, why do we have to eat? Why do human beings eat? And I like to think about it like a phone. If you've ever seen a phone at home, you know that it has to be plugged in. It has to be charged. Because, what happens if we don't charge the phone? Well, eventually it just runs out of energy and then the screen goes black and we can't do anything with it. We have to, it just kind of goes to sleep. And the human body is, in some ways, the same, but instead of plugging ourselves into a USB to get our energy, we have to eat. And so the food that we eat, our body turns that into the energy that we use to do things like playing and doing sports and learning and really doing anything that we need to be awake for. That's why we eat. So when we eat, that food goes into something that's called our digestive system. And our digestive system are the parts of our body that break down that food and turn it into that energy we need. We have these kind of little energy factories in our body, in the cells of our body, which are the tiniest parts of our body, and they help us to make that energy. And so if, for example, you don't eat enough, or maybe you decide that you're too busy playing and you don't want to eat your lunch, then you'll find that you'll start to get more tired later on. You'll start to run out of that energy that you need to do your schoolwork or even just to play and have fun. And I am somebody who needs to eat kind of at regular times. I need to eat a good breakfast and I need to eat a good lunch and I need to eat a good dinner. Otherwise, even though I'm a grown-up, I actually get quite tired and I can get quite cranky. It will affect my mood and I won't really be happy. It'll be easy for me to get kind of angry or frustrated. And so I'm always careful. And really I try to make sure that I eat. Sometimes it can happen where maybe I'm on holidays in a strange place that I've never been before, and it might take me a long time to find a restaurant or a place to eat, and I can feel my body getting more and more tired, and it's hard for me to even concentrate, and it's hard for me to make good decisions, and then I find I start to get, it's easy for me to get frustrated and easy for me to get upset. And so And when I was younger, I didn't really understand why I was feeling these feelings. I didn't know it was actually because I was hungry. But as I became older, I started to understand that I have to be very careful and make sure that I eat at the same times every day. So, sometimes you can tell if you're hungry because maybe your stomach will start to make these strange little growly noises, like there's like a little tiger or something inside there. And if I hear my stomach making those noises, or I feel those kind of strange blurples in my belly, then I know that I need to eat. And when we're eating, we only really need to eat until we feel full. So it is okay sometimes not to eat, a whole lot of food if you don't actually feel like it, but we should try to eat a little bit, definitely, when it is time to eat. So I try to eat till I'm full, but I try not to eat till I feel too full, because that can make me feel sick too. Here we go, just finishing off the arm. But yeah, so I think we'll finish the crosses on his body now. And I think that today we've drawn this cool looking pineapple, Pedro, and we've talked before a little bit about that there are some foods that are really healthy for us, that are really good to eat, and we know that fruit is one of those things that is good for us. It does have sugars in it, and sugars do help us to get energy we need, but it has fruit has better sugars in it maybe than some kinds of candy might. Those sugars give us energy that lasts longer. I'm just going to color in the eyes here. Of course, the other thing we haven't talked about is you also need to drink. So especially drinking water is very good. So again, maybe next time that it's snack time at school, or next time that it is lunchtime at school, before we're going outside to play in the yard, remember that it's a good idea to eat something, not to be distracted by. I know it can be easy to be distracted by our friends, or to want to keep playing a game that we're playing or doing some activity, but we need, just like your phone needs to be plugged in just so that we can use it, we need to recharge our bodies with food so that we can use them and have lots of fun, run around and play. Just going to finish the eyes here with those little lines to show the light underneath. And that is Pedro the Pineapple. So I'll bring back our color version. And I sort of colored Pedro the usual colors we see on a pineapple. So he's a kind of a yellowy orange color. I gave him some red and white shoes. I put pink and blue into his eyes, and some darker pinks and purples, and a lighter pink inside the mouth, and then some green for the leaves. But of course, you can color Pedro any colors you like. You could make him a purple, pink pineapple if you wanted to. That would be lots of nice sounds. Okay, thanks for coming again today, and I can't wait to see you guys again.